Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first episode of the Unpacked podcast. This is a new podcast with myself, Jack, and Toby. Say hello, Toby.
Hello, guys. This is exciting, isn't it? This is really exciting. This is obviously something we've wanted to do for a while, and here we are.
Yes, you
Fantastic.
obviously might know us from YouTube already, doing sort of sticker and football card collecting. Toby is, of course, football collectibles, and I am GBW. So you might be familiar with us already. So this is pretty exciting. You know, you can listen to this on Spotify and it's on YouTube. So do subscribe if you haven't already. So what we're going to be discussing today, Toby?
We're going to start off. Basically, going to have a discussion. We don't know where this is going to head. Around the changing landscape of the card and sticker community. Over the last 12 months, how that landscape has changed. And we just thought that with the pandemic and everything that's sort of gone on over the last 12 months in the world, we sort of looked back and reflected on it and went, hang on a minute, there's been so many changes in the past 12 months to the way that cards and stickers are sort of perceived, the way they're manufactured, everything like that. There's been lots and lots of different changes, and some for better, some for worse. And we just wanted to have a little bit of a chat and a discussion about, what we think about that, really.
Yeah, well, it's definitely a lot different than what it was, as you said. I get a load of comments and load of Instagram DM requests of people asking how much is this card worth, etc. From a Match Tax card, which is 2007, 2008, something like that. And it's just, it really does grind my gears, Toby. I don't like it.
Do you know what that does for me? And I don't get as many comments like that. I've had one or two, but I don't get as many like that simply because of my own channel size. But I think for me, it saddens me more than anything that we've reached a point where people are out there and they are quite simply just looking for money from these cards, and that
Mm,
they're looking to, I suppose, make a quick buck, using it
yeah.
as an opportunity to sort of line their own pockets. And um, I think from me, from my own point of view as a collector, it kind of ruins some of that enjoyment. It takes it away. I don't know about you, but it's had that negative impact, I would say.
It is, well, it makes some certain stickers and cards really rare. People have single-handedly made, for example, Dest from the Champions League collection last season, Champions League sticker collection. They made him worth a lot. The Mbappe sticker from the World Cup, that's £25, £30 now, isn't it? Or something like that. Greenwood last year. I think it's bizarre, but there is money to be made from it. So, and it's football. So, and obviously there's a massive following for football. So it's clever. It is clever.
It is clever. And you know what? I can't blame people at the same point
No.
in time.
Yeah.
We're talking about a changing landscape here. This time 12 months ago, we were looking ahead to a European Championships. We were looking ahead to a couple of releases from both Tops and Panini. Um, Coronavirus was only really a word that was just reaching certainly the shores in the UK, and certainly wasn't having a major impact on the world like it is now. And I think that when that sort of hit, I think when we all got sort of put into lockdown in various corners of the world, I think that people wanted something to do. And
Mm.
naturally, a hobby like collecting football cards and stickers, particularly a hobby that a lot of people might start and do sort of in their childhood, they might then go away and come back a few years later and come back to it. And that's perfectly normal. That happens all the time. But I think with that lockdown, it almost heightened the
Yeah.
sort of the demand for people to do something. People have something to do, and I
Yeah.
think card and sticker collecting
Mm.
was sort of one of the things that people thought. Yeah, do you know what? I want to give that a go again.
Well, the way I saw it is that people lockdown, they didn't have anything to do, as you said. So they'll go up in the loft and find all their old cards and stickers, and that gives them some sort of, I don't know what the word is, nostalgia. That's it.
Yeah.
So they'll have a look on YouTube. They might come across our content, and then they'll buy some packs. But it has become into a hobby where people just want to make money from it. I suppose you are, if you're going into the loft, you want to make some money from old tat, essentially, which they don't use. But for us, obviously, that's not old tat. Old trading card and sticker collections for us is big. We don't want to. We'd never think of selling an old collection, would we?
No, absolutely. I think for us, it's memories. It's that sense of achievement, isn't it? I mean, I look back on my old collections and go, do you know what? I can't believe I've got every collection from, I don't know, the 2006 World Cup sticker album complete all the way through to the latest one in 2018, or every Match Attax collection from 2007 through to present day. But I suppose the other thing that we maybe looking back, we didn't necessarily factor in was, I suppose, the economic impact of this pandemic as well, in terms of on people's jobs, on people's ability to bring in money. And there's always going to be certain cards and certain collections that hold particular value to collectors. So I suppose people initially probably tried to cash in on that. But I'd be interested in your thoughts as to why all of a sudden you think that, I suppose, an element that never really happened before, and you mentioned it earlier, was certain players being chased all of a sudden. That's never really happened on the scale it has before.
It's understandable. It's the hot talent. I don't know what started this, because now you see people chasing. I say on TikTok, there's this guy who was always looking for Beckhams from 1996 and stuff like this. What started this? Because back in the day, people weren't searching for Beckhams, were they? People weren't opening packs just to find a Beckham or to find an Ori or a Ronaldo. So I don't know what started it. I don't know about you. Have you found, And
I think you're quite right there. Nobody ever... Yeah, there were probably a minority, probably a very small minority that went, oh, do you know what? I'm going to collect every card of David Beckham or every card of Thierry Henry, but not on the scale that people are doing it for Mbappe, Haaland, Gio Reyna, Dest, as you say. It's grown. And again, there were certain cards in a pack that you were always like, oh my God, I got this player. I talked about before an example with Shootout. There was a Shootout card of Frank Lampard in 2005-06 everyone wanted. And there was that real buzz when you got it, but I can't put a finger on it. I don't know whether there was a particular release. Can you think about if there was a particular release that sort of had a particular card in?
Oh, see, I think it's one of the World Cups. I think it's the Mbappe from the World Cup 2018. It could be that, but it could be earlier. I don't know, because I've only started seeing the posts of people trying to resell and all these cards and stickers worth 30 odd quid for a card. I don't understand it.
I suppose the other way to look at it, maybe it's not necessarily a specific release, but I seem to remember back now, there was an awful lot of interest in Haaland. At this time last year. And I just wonder, I seem to remember actually there was quite a few people that were buying boxes of Panini's Austria.
Yeah, they were.
Bundesliga stickers, chasing the Haaland sticker. And I think that was linked to Leipzig's not Leipzig. It's Austria, Red Bull Salzburg. Sorry, their run in the Champions League.
Yeah.
And then obviously Haaland got his big move. So I can only really sort of attribute it to that. And I suppose with Haaland having the media attention that he had, I suppose that heightened media attention probably. Yeah, people obviously wanted a bit of the action because he's the real deal. Let's be honest, Haaland is the real deal.
He's incredible.
He is. He's a fantastic talent, but I don't know whether people start hedging their bets, thinking, okay, people have jumped on the Haaland train. What's the next one that's going to come along? I'm going to get ahead of the game. I don't know.
Yeah. This may have made people go back to the old collections and open old packs and just go for those old cards. Like, I see again. I keep seeing people go for really, really old players, like the first, I don't know, Cruyff card, Pele. I've seen them on Instagram and TikTok, and people trying to pack them and sending them off to those graders and all that. It's definitely a lot different than what. I mean, go back 5 years ago. I don't think I can think of many people searching for a quick buck like this.
No, I think you're right, and I think there's always been people that will try and sell a rare card, but I think more often than not, looking at cards I've purchased from people before, I've been purchasing from other collectors that are trying to fund their collecting hobby themselves. So I think there's been that real change. And you mentioned as well the grading and stuff. Do you think there's been a real sort of American aspect that's come into the hobby in Europe?
I think, well, especially this year, there was the November Pokemon, or just Pokemon cards came back massively in the UK or in the whole world. But yeah, America has definitely had a big impact on this. I don't know what started it though. I really don't. But yeah, people are sending all their cards and stickers over to PSA graders over in America or wherever it is. And because that's what the Americans did with their baseball cards, their soccer cards and stuff like this. And that's another thing which I have a bone to pick. People from the UK calling them soccer cards. That just proves that it's an American thing which has taken over this collecting landscape. It's not soccer.
No, yeah, absolutely. It's I think that grinds. Every time I see it, every time I see someone use the word soccer cards, it makes my heart sink a little bit.
Yeah,
it kind of. You just kind of think, oh no, we really don't need to go down the Americanization route totally. And you mentioned obviously PSA. I think the other one's Beckett as well. People send their cards off to grade 2, and you can kind of understand why. Again, if you are a collector, a true collector, and you want a rough idea on what your card might be worth, or what your card, the value of your card, how good it is, the condition of the card, all that sort of thing, then yeah, brilliant idea. Send it off. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of having a card encased in a slab, but for individual card collectors, I can understand the appeal.
Well, it looks really nice. It will look really nice, especially on display. You can get them on little card holders and stuff like this. I think there's obviously a lot of positives about what people do with the cards and show. For example, we know Soccer Silverback. If he's watching this, hello. Haaland. He loves his Haaland, doesn't he? So if he's obviously hunting all these Haaland cards and stickers, and he gets them all graded and like layered up and on little stands, it would look really, really nice. So I don't blame him. But yeah, it definitely does show a transition from collecting a full set to collecting individual players. There's definitely been a lot of people going for individual players compared to last year.
I agree. And yeah, I agree with what you say as well. Any, not just Soccer Silverback with his Haaland collection, but I suppose any collector, it's going to look fantastic, isn't it? If you've got a certain run of cards or a certain run of a player, it is going to look outstanding having that as a collection. And I suppose for us, a set collector's a dying breed. To answer my own question, I kind of think there's a possibility. Are we going to see less sets where all the cards are released at the beginning in future? Are we going to see, I suppose, more print run chases, if that makes sense? We're seeing a lot of that at the moment, on-demand stuff. Is that going to creep in more and more?
Probably. I can't, because it just seems so popular at the moment. So why would the companies not take up on it? For example, Panini, they're bringing out Prism in the UK. That's purely because of the UK's demand for it, which I'm very much welcome for, because the Panini Prism cards, they look awesome, and it's good content for the channel, etc. And if you do pack one of those cards, which is worth, I don't know, £300 plus, there's a big buzz about that. You can't get that in, for example, a Match Attax or Adrenaline XL. No card in those collections are worth over £10 pretty much. So there's definitely a buzz about the high-end collections.
I suppose it's where you draw the line, isn't it? Because I think for you and I, if we were to open a hobby box like that of Prism, and we were to pull some insane card that, as you say, is worth £200-300 plus, for us, that's just incredible.
We'd
what
keep
a card
it.
to have. Yeah, exactly. What a card to have on display in our personal collections. Be the crown jewel. But I kind of worry that the way it's going, the way people are chasing either certain players, certain cards, or, as we've talked about before, people going to, use the hobby, cash in on the hobby and try and make a a quick buck. They're going to buy. I suppose it's high risk, low reward. They kind of go for this strategy where they'll buy loads of boxes. I mean, there's probably people that have bought, as many boxes as they possibly can of the upcoming Prism, spent thousands of pounds on it in the hope that they get one or two good cards that they can sell on for an absolute mint and make their money back. And that just doesn't make me feel very good,
They are really, some of them are really special though. For example, I don't know which one it was, but did Castro pull it? Castro, he pulled the Henry and Burkamp one.
Yes. Oh,
imagine you packing that.
As an Arsenal fan, that's an Arsenal fan's dream.
Yeah. Like some of the cards that they're releasing in these premium sets are incredible, especially the ones which you have to, a pack is like £100 or something like that. They're definitely worth the money, especially if you. Oh God, can you just imagine getting Henry autograph, Henry shirt, or something like that?
It would just be, it'd be unbelievable. It's absolutely unbelievable.
You just can't beat the buzz. And another thing I was going to say is when it does come to these premium sets, and when we do get our hands on them, which is very rare because they sell out instantly, and then they get resold by eBay sellers for 3 times the price. Look at Match Attax Chrome. We're taking that as an example again here. When we're collecting the set, me and you are going for the full set, whereas a lot of people are just opening the packs to find the greens, the reds, the oranges, the autos. And they don't care about a full set, which is sad because the full set looks really awesome.
It does. And, again, I can sympathise from where they're coming from. I think we both know someone that's, for example, chasing a full Greenwood set of parallels. And the work he's put in so far to get to where he has, I think he's got 7 out of I think it's 9. It looks absolutely amazing. So I'm sure that fills that collector with the same feeling that it fills us getting a full set. But I just think at the moment, and I'm sure you'd agree, that the balance isn't there, that it's heavily at the moment, I suppose the number of people that are jumping on the hobby weighted towards these individual player collections and going after a certain card rather than going to complete a full set.
Yeah, I definitely get that point though. If you're going, for example, Soccer Silverback, the guy from Twitter who likes his Greenwoods, when you have a full set of all the different cards of the rainbow, essentially, that would look incredible. And that's basically completing a set for them. That's their equivalent of a set completion, which is fair enough. It's fair enough. But it's when it comes to collections like Match Attax and Adrenaline XL, and people, this is the main bug I have of all of this. When people DM me saying, "Oh, how much is this? I don't know, Sir Alex Ferguson manager card worth from 2010-11?" Nothing. It's worth absolutely nothing. None of these old Match Attax cards are worth anything, I'm afraid.
Well, there's 1 or 2, and again, you're probably looking at more at the limited editions of the signed cards. But that's where the I suppose there's a balance of people going after checklisted and non-checklisted cards, and that's a whole other conversation for another day. Yeah. But I think from my perspective, where the card companies have got to get it right is they've got to begin to differentiate more the brands. So, for example, don't put so many chase cards necessarily into a Match Attax set, because it makes it really difficult for kids or people like us that are set collectors to go and get the Match Attax collection complete. It just makes it really, really difficult. I've always liked the concept, and I'm probably contradicting myself a little bit here. I've always liked the concept of having maybe 1 or 2 cards to chase, whether that be a really difficult limited edition to get hold of, or a signed card, whether that be the first signed card they did with the Fabregas 100 Club to, I don't know, or a couple of years ago, the De Bruyne Platinum. Things like that. It's always been nice to have 1 card to go and chase that only a certain number of people can get and have. And as a set collector, having that as part of my whole set is lovely. But at the same time, it becomes a bit silly when you've got loads to go and chase and you don't know necessarily the quantity, or it's such a difficult balance to strike. So I don't blame them for exploring different routes. Yeah.
It's just about keeping them separate, as you say, keeping the premium cards to themselves, all the chase cards, as you said, the numbered ones, basically, to a different name, I think. Yeah. So for example, I don't know if Adrenaline XL are ever going to do it, but don't put numbered cards into the Adrenaline XL set unless there's maybe one, as you mentioned, like Platinum De Bruyne or 100 Club Fabregas. There was 100 Club Rio Ferdinand, the 2010-11. Those special, maybe no supermarket exclusive cards, I really like them. I think they, that was kind of the early stages essentially of chase cards, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I think what was good about those, and you mentioned supermarkets there, they were put into regular packets that anyone had an equal chance of getting by going to their shop and buying a packet of football cards.
Yeah.
Or, they've done that with stickers before as well, where there's been redemption stickers that you can get that, again, you could walk into your newsagent and come out and you find that you've got a signed sticker. I think we need to go back to that and less of the certainly for cards within sets, less of this, buy this and you'll get this, or you've got a chance of getting this. It needs to be that equal chance of walking into a shop and coming out with something really, really special that, everyone else that's collecting that set has the opportunity to find.
Well, otherwise it would just sell out online, they just sell out straight away. Topps did a Alphonso Davies Bundesliga card recently, which had the chart. It wasn't even guaranteed that you had his autograph card for €144. It came with 2 boxes of the collection, which was released back in when? October, November?
Yeah, November. Yeah.
Which no one wants. So I just think it's a shame. I really do think that I want to see a return almost to, I think Match Attax did it last year with the Bronze Sancho, didn't they? In the one stop
box, yeah, store specific limited edition cards. Yeah,
I think they're great. I think it gives people an incentive to go out. Plus, as you say, it's not unfair. Everyone has an equal chance. So there we go. That's what I think, really.
I think we've, that's. I suppose that's a good place to leave that topic in particular. And we've kind of gone down one very narrow route. I think bringing it back to the sort of the bigger picture here, and obviously the theme is a changing landscape. What would be the other noticeable sort of changes or impacts of the pandemic that you've noticed over the last 12 months on football card and sticker collecting?
God, tell you what, I'm not really sure, really. It's mainly the people, as we've mentioned, trying to resell their cards, but I have seen a lot of people during lockdown say that they've been looking at their old binders, and like what I did on TikTok a couple of weeks ago, that stuff got loads of views and loads of interactions. So that shows that it wasn't just me who was looking through all their old binders, and it's it kind of hit a load of people's nostalgia. So maybe there is a lot more people looking at their old binders and then going out and buying the new Adrenaline XL or new Match Attax. It's especially Luke from Self Collectibles has definitely, with his blowing up on TikTok, encouraged a lot more people to go out and buy the Premier League sticker packs. I think he's done a great job with that.
I agree. I think he certainly found not necessarily a niche, but he found a formula on that particular platform that seemed to work, and I think all credit there. I mean, I'm fairly new to this as well in terms of the sort of the content creation around cards and stickers, but certainly one of the things I've noticed is the sort of the broad spread of channels now that have hung around. Certainly, again, just because I've only been creating content recently doesn't mean I don't necessarily know about what's been there sort of the last 4 or 5 years. And there's a lot more channels now that are hanging around that have been here for the last 18 months that are continuing to create content. And I think the other thing that's really noticeable is the age of those individuals that are sticking around. You're sort of looking at really 16 plus for those individuals that have got the sticking power and staying power. And it amazes me the number of people that are older than both of us that have really made a go at this and have made it a success. And it depends how you define success, but for me, success is having an audience of, I suppose, 1,000 plus. There's quite a few people out there now with an audience of 1,000 plus that produce regular content. that keep getting clicks and engagement. I think credit's got to be given to those people to, I suppose, the way they've grown their audience during this sort of period of uncertainty.
Yeah, well, I think even getting 100 subscribers, 200 subscribers is a big achievement, because it's not easy to get subscribers on YouTube one bit. It really isn't. But another thing I'd say is that, especially during the pandemic and lockdown and all this sort of stuff, people have been at home. People have been on their phones, on their iPads and stuff like this, which means they're on YouTube. They're seeing, you know, I uploaded the Match Attax 2010-11 video. They're seeing that come up and thinking, oh, I collected them. They'll click on it. So I definitely feel like a lot more of an audience is available there to be built, especially during the pandemic, because a lot more people are on their phones and tablets, looking on YouTube, looking at cards and sticker openings, which I think is brilliant, really. So there's definitely that sort of positive change in the landscape, quoting the title there. So yeah, there we go.
I think that can only benefit, I suppose, long-term collectors like us, in terms of, if there are more people engaged in card and sticker collecting, I think that puts more pressure on the card companies to produce a better product.
Yeah.
To try and keep some of those returning or new collectors to here. So I think from our point of view, we benefit in that regard. I don't know whether you'd agree.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, because we at the end of the day, then we're making videos on a product we're more excited for. We're more proud to be collecting. I don't know, is that the correct terminology? But just a better collection. The better the collection, the more we enjoy it. That's it. Because we've had some pretty woeful sets in recent years.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that you've hit the nail on the head there. You said you weren't sure, but I think proud is the right word. You want to look back on a binder and go, do you know what? I really like the look of those cards. And just things like that just make a huge difference. And I suppose, obviously, you mentioned in general, I think there's been a lot more discussion on social media as well with cards and stickers. And I suppose the final area to maybe touch upon before we sort of wrap things up for today is the way that the card companies themselves have adapted to the pandemic, in terms of the production of the cards, the way they get products out to people now. I don't know about you, but for me, they've become a lot more switched on to that sort of online audience, and less dependent on sales and shops, and more clued into ensuring that their customers can get their cards directly from them.
Yeah. Both Topps and Panini have definitely helped out the promotional people over on YouTube, and even now TikTok. Soul Collectibles is getting sent stuff, being encouraged to do little giveaways from Panini, because there's such a big audience there on TikTok and on YouTube, which is going to get them sales. This is how promotional things should be these days. We're, at the end of the day, people on YouTube and on TikTok opening their cards and stickers are influencing others. We're influencers. I hate the word. It's a disgusting word. I don't like saying it, but we're influencers. So when they do send us stuff, it's massively benefiting them and us as well. Probably more them, really, because they're sending it out to loads of audiences, loads of different audiences of all ages, of all sizes, which is massive for them. There's such a wide demographic there, and especially if they send it out to people from different countries. I think Chroma FC and Football Cards Pedrito, some of those channels, they've been sent the Premier League stuff or bought it or something like that, which is they're the biggest in Spain, so that gives them a whole audience in a different part of the world, you know?
Yeah, there's that recognition there from the companies, isn't there? And I think the other thing that certainly I've noticed in the last 6 months is, I suppose for UK collectors, like take Topps, for example, producing an English version of the Bundesliga Match Attax back in the summer to try and gauge interest there. And then Panini recently sticking on sale on the UK website the French Ligue 1 stickers, Panini Adrenaline from Spain, and just different things like that. It's just interesting seeing those companies begin to adapt to the, I suppose, the demand from the. There we go. As you can see, for those watching on screen, there's the FUT 2021, which came from Panini UK. So yeah, it's the companies are adapting, aren't they? They've adapted and they've recognised that people want more now. They don't just want what's released in their own country, if you like. So I think that's another sort of result of the pandemic, the increased demand.
They do look, yeah, they look really nice. Yeah, as you say, increased demand. Yeah, I'm excited for where this can go, really, in terms of how the companies are changing and getting a wider audience. And it obviously increases sales for them, doesn't it? They need sales to survive. It's more money, more moolah. This is exactly what the companies need and want.
Exactly. No, I think one final question that I've got floating around my head before we really do wrap this up. Where do you see, whenever we get out the other side of this pandemic, where do you see this going? Do you see the sustained demand still, or do you see it dropping off?
I do. I think it'll get better because there'll be much more availability for people or for the companies to do, I don't know, promotions at events. With Panini doing the Euros coming up, if there was no pandemic on, think of the stuff they'd been able to do. Topps, Champions League, stuff like that. Panini with the Premier League games last year, they gave out packs in programs, didn't they? And there'll be more of an availability for the companies to give out, to do the certain shop promotions. I think that's why Topps couldn't do the one-stop thing this year. That's probably the reason. Because people can't go outside. There's no guarantee. So there's definitely going to be, as you mentioned earlier, more of the chase cards from the specific sets finding in specific stores in the next few seasons once this pandemic's over. I think it's exciting stuff. It really is. It'll go back to more of how collecting was 5-10 years ago, I think, and there'll be a real buzz about it because lockdown has, if anything, grown people's buzz about collecting cards and stickers. I think, especially the Premier League stickers, that's been a incredible achievement from Panini, and there's definitely a load of people getting on board with this and collecting and stuff like this. It's brilliant.
I think it's spot on there. I think there is a degree of excitement. I think that, as you say, I think the core fan base has grown for cards and stickers, and I think I can't see that dropping off with certainly the quality that's there at the moment with certain products and brands as well. I think we sometimes overlook the importance of brands and the nostalgia of brands as well. So I suppose if we look to summarise then, the last 12 months that landscape has changed hugely. Some for better, some elements for better, some elements, as we've spoken about at the very beginning, for the worse. Whether those elements for the worse ever...
But that's in our opinion, though, isn't it?
It is, exactly.
There's probably people listening or watching this right now, because, of course, you can listen on Spotify or watch on our dedicated YouTube channel, the Unpack Podcast. Do subscribe. That are really into the reselling stuff and making a quick buck. So it really is a opinionated thing. So get interacting. Let us know what you think about this situation. But yeah, there's definitely some good elements and some bad elements in whatever you think, to the landscape of the card and sticker collecting game over the past 12 months, as we mentioned, I think.
Absolutely. As you say there, it'd be fantastic to hear other people's thoughts and opinions. Do let us know. Do interact with us, either in the comments below, if you're watching on YouTube, or hit us up on our socials. They're in the link in the description as well. So yeah, lots to look forward to, I'd say, in the future. Been an interesting time. And yeah, that's the best thing about football cards and stickers. You never know what's to come in the future. There's so many different, twists and turns. So yeah, I look forward to seeing what's next.
Yeah, so do I. I can't wait. The next 12 months, or especially once the pandemic is over, as I mentioned earlier, is going to be brilliant. The swap and play tours back up and stuff like this, and I can't wait. There's exciting times ahead, and yeah, good stuff. Nice.
Absolutely. So guys, thanks for tuning into this first episode of the Unpack Podcast. I've been Toby, aka Football Collectibles, and I've been joined by Jack.
Hiya, I'm GBW as well. Yeah,
GBW right there. So thanks everyone, and stay tuned for the next episode. Subscribe, hit the bell, and you'll know when we upload next on the podcast channel.
Yeah. See you later.
Bye.